Welcome to TMZ Live. There is a gentleman who is on his third day minimum before the LA County grand jury that is listening to evidence in the case involving the death, LAPD says the murder of Celeste Rivas. And we know Singer David is the suspect here. The man that is testifying is his very close day-to-day manager.
And that's the key thing there, day-to-day manager, because
he knows a lot.
Robert Morgenroth, we told you about Robert Morgenroth, is the man who been testifying for the grand jury. And at first you think, well, why is this manager of his tour, manager of his career?
And really, he was
involved?
An executive. He was a general manager, we thought. Turns out
at his record label.
More than just the general manager. He is intimately involved in David's day-to-day life.
And we're told has been spent a lot of time around David outside of music. And there's another guy who's also connected and clearly in more than just a career way, and that is Josh Marshall, who has not been testifying for the grand jury. But
as far as
we know, Josh Marshall is the founder and CEO of Mogul Vision, the record label, David's record label. Josh Marshall you may have heard that name a couple of months ago when this whole mystery started, because his name is on the lease. He was leasing the house in the Hollywood Hills where David was living.
And this is the house that the LAPD searched shortly after Celeste's body was found in David's Tesla near that house. And we are told by our law enforcement sources that that house is very, very important evidence in their investigation into Celeste's death. Now, these two managers work for the same company. So you got this guy testifying before the grand jury who is the co-manager with the guy that rented the house that David lived in, a house that plays big in this investigation.
And the reason that this is potentially critical here is, remember what we told you Robert Morgenroth told his lawyer when he walked out of the grand jury
on Monday
in the hallway talking to his lawyer, when he said that the deputy DA had grilled him about not calling the police. Why didn't you call the police?
And his response was, I didn't think it was my responsibility
to do that, and I just wanted to continue with the tour.
So whatever this is.
What is it he knew?
It involves a crime, because you call the police when there's a crime. And the DA was aggressive with him, saying, why didn't you call the police? He said that she was aggressive. So when you don't call the police, it's something that's got to involve some kind of crime. We don't know what that is, but
taking all this together, what we're seeing is that the walls are closing in here, right? We know he's a suspect. We know David's a suspect. We know that his personal day-to-day manager is testifying before the grand jury
at least
for 3 days.
At least we don't know what happened on Friday.
We don't know what happened on Friday. We don't know what happened with the other manager as well. The walls are closing in on him. It's been a long time. It really has been. I mean, as much as we applaud the LAPD and the prosecutors for doing their job, it's been an enormous length of time between they discovered her body in his car and now we're getting to the end of the grand jury. Presumably the end of the grand jury. We don't know.
There's one other thing that's really important. Yesterday, at the end of the day, there is a court right next to where the grand jury is hearing evidence. And that court often handles contempt issues. The judge in that courtroom, I'm told, is responsible for kind of resolving fights between a witness and the DA, where maybe the DA asks a question, the witness doesn't want to answer, or whatever. Both the DA and Morgenroth walked into that courtroom at the end of the day yesterday. We have a reporter down there who was kicked out of that courtroom when they both walked in. So they were going to have some kind of a closed-door meeting with the judge. I will just say, I know from history that the way this often goes down is the judge has to make a decision. Does a witness have to answer a question?
Right.
That's you, or
it does seem like
a contempt hearing.
The fact that our reporter was was thrown out makes me feel like this had to do with the grand jury testimony.
Oh, it did. No, it 100% did.
Right, and the fact that the deputy went in with Morgan Roth.
Well, you go to the judge when you can't resolve something in the grand jury room. And here you have Morgan Roth and the DA going in at the same time, and then they close the doors on everybody. So he's a really important witness for this deputy DA. And again, we don't know when this is going to end, but it's clearly
they're trying to
close in on David.
Right.
Deborah from Toronto, Ontario. Yeah, so it's definitely alarming that the executive or Morgan Roth, executive on David's team, felt like he didn't need to call the police because it didn't feel like it was his responsibility. I feel like that was very alarming, especially since it involves a minor. I mean, if you find someone's dead body in your client's vehicle, I mean, your first response should be to call the authority. But the fact that that was not done really raises a lot of serious questions, even though it may or may not prove any guilt, but it does damage a lot of trust, and it further proves that this investigation, in my opinion, is far from over.
Well, we should say you just made a bit of an assumption there that that's the thing that he didn't call the police about. We don't know. I understand why you might think that's what it was related to, but we really don't know at this point.
I want to make one other point, and then we'll move on, is that in a lot of these cases where there are multiple people involved and there's a question, and I'm not saying with him, but with Morgan Roth, but I'm saying that when there are multiple witnesses and a DA feels, well, there might be culpability other than on the suspect, they often offer immunity in return for their testimony.
Right.
And so don't count that out here.
Governor Gavin Newsom is on fire. And I don't mean in the polls, quite literally. If you've been on social media today, you may have seen some images of him with his hair on fire. The reason is he's being called out over a comment he made on a podcast a little while ago talking about the days during the California fires, the wildfires back in January. And one of the days when he was out in the field responding, checking out how the battle was going. Here's what he said. And again, and I don't think this is a bad thing, by the way, that politicians, when they say something, people closely check them for what they said. Here's what Gavin Newsom said, and then we're gonna show you the video that has a lot of people questioning his take on this.
I was up there in the hills with these guys, and we all turned around when my hair literally burst on. There's a video of it, and they threw me in the car. The guy hits my hair and throws me in the car, says, "Get out of here." And these guys, there's no hose in the world attached to a thing that mattered at that point. It was a life safety mission. And that was just a few hours in. Those were 60, 70 mile an hour gusts before it hit its peak at 100.
So, Governor's saying this, and he said that there's video where you see this ember come flying in. Well, the governor's office provided that video, and there you saw it. There was definitely something that flew in. But now that he provided the video, everyone's saying, well, wait a second, where is your hair on fire?
Well, okay, maybe an ember hit his head, okay?
Okay.
I will tell you something.
Right.
Well,
and you do see that's a fire chief, I believe, who's with him there, who did clearly react, and you saw it fly in. I guess the reason that all these memes have now been created of the governor with his hair on fire is people are saying, we just saw the video. Your hair's not on fire.
Well,
why would you say that in an interview?
Yeah, but I will tell you something.
Those are the memes.
It's
AI.
Yeah, AI.
I'll make 2 points. One is this. I covered the Malibu fires when I was with CBS in Los Angeles back in the 90s. And I was doing a live shot one day, and I was like, my pants are burning. What is going on? And I couldn't see anything.
As a reporter, you generally don't want your pants to be on fire.
No, but listen,
and as a human being also.
I felt I was on fire, but I couldn't see anything.
And sometimes you're burning, you can't see.
No, do you know what it was? I had a Kleenex in my pocket, and the ambient heat lit the Kleenex on fire. In my pants.
That could have been dangerous.
No, it was. So I don't think you necessarily...
So many jokes that I'm not going to make here, but...
I understand, but that's the thing. I want to tell you a story, and I haven't.
Are we getting away from the governor?
No, we're about to go back to the governor.
Okay, all right.
Because
good.
he's been taking, literally and figuratively, a lot of heat over the fire.
Yeah.
I want to tell you a story, and I have not told this publicly yet, but he didn't say off the record, and I don't think he'd mind if I do. I did a YouTube video where I really criticized him because there is a lot of red tape still. People are not getting back in their homes. They're not getting their homes built. They are stuck. And I did this video basically saying Newsom said he was going to cut the red tape. He hasn't done it, and I really went after him. 2 days later, I got a call from Gavin Newsom, and he said, tell me what you know that is not happening. And I told him about an architect I know who put together a consortium of 100 architects, and they're trying to rebuild Altadena and the Palisades, and they're getting stuck at the Planning Commission and all this stuff. And he said, you have that guy call me, and I will do something. And I called the architect. He called Newsom. Newsom took the call. They've had meetings. So he's
that's awesome, Harvey.
He is trying.
Why does he need you to tell him these things?
No,
here's the common denominator here.
No.
Holly Berry says something, immediately fixed. Harvey Levin says something, immediately fixed. Why does he need famous and powerful people to say things?
You're turning this.
What?
It certainly could give that appearance. I guess that then it comes down to the issue of, does the ends justify the means? Like, okay, if that's how he got to it, but if he actually
I'm giving him credit.
If he
for
does
that.
cut the red tape and houses do start to get built faster, then that's the bottom line. Isn't it?
I give him credit for that. Now, I haven't seen the results yet, but I'm looking.
Yeah, hi, this is Polo from Fort Lauderdale, and I think if his hair caught on fire, we definitely hear about it. That's like his biggest investment.
Well, it is important.
I mean, it is his signature.
It is kind of his signature.
Right.
Fair point.
Coming up.
Andy Dick has been very visibly in Hollywood going through substance abuse issues for years. Yesterday, things really got dire.
Is he okay? Hey. Andy.
Be right back.
Andy Dick, the comedian Andy Dick, a comedic actor, has been very visibly in Hollywood going through substance abuse issues for years, almost 10 years, I would say.
I think longer than 10 years.
Maybe. And there have been friends who've tried to help him at times, but yesterday, things really got dire. In fact, life and death situation on the streets of Hollywood, where Andy had apparently taken some drug and was completely unresponsive. What you're about to see is this video as one of his friends in the neighborhood is rolling by on a skateboard, and watch what happens once they realize that Andy may be about to die.
Andy, are you okay, buddy? Is he okay? Hey. Andy. Andy, buddy. Hey, Andy, wake up! What the dude?
I want to call the ambulance.
Call an ambulance right now.
Let me see his nose. Hey, let me see his nose. Stop shaking. Give me a Narcan. Right here. Get his head up. You need to put it out.
Yo, wake him up right now. Wake him up.
So the individual there on the right in the blue bonnet, you heard him say, give him the Narcan. What we're told by witnesses and also from law enforcement is he did actually get Narcan administered to him, and it appears that man actually had Narcan with him.
You find that a little odd he happened to have
That he happened to have it?
Yeah.
I don't know this neighborhood. I don't know how prevalent drug use is in this neighborhood, but that may be.
It's interesting
that he actually had the Narcan with him.
Yeah, and it saved his life.
Right, and it did save his life.
And we've spoken to several people in this neighborhood. It's not far from like the Hollywood and Highland Center, which is a huge tourist attraction here in LA. And people that we've spoken to said over the last 3 to 4 months, they've seen Andy on the streets in this neighborhood. Now, whether he's living in a house or an apartment over there is unclear, but they've seen him on the streets walking around with a similar group of people, and he never really looks that well. One of our producers in New York spoke to a family member just a couple minutes ago who said they're doing whatever they can to get him help. I don't know if that's totally believable in the sense that we know that Andy's been struggling for so many years.
And the other thing
they
is,
can be trying to help him,
and unless he wants it, it's almost useless. I mean, it is. There's this thing where they talk about in recovery that you have to hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Andy's hit rock bottom over and over again.
But
that hasn't happened, and it is one of the saddest stories we've covered.
You know,
in 20 years.
what I thought once we saw this video, I just felt like we're seeing it this time, but especially Brendan, after you told us that people have seen him in this condition. How many times has this happened?
Right.
In recent times over the years.
Well, and I will tell you, when we first watched this video last night and you see him go back and he doesn't come forward in the video cuts, you're thinking the worst. And then when I had spoken to the spokesperson over at the fire department, they said, and there was no transport, and I thought, well, that's not good. However, they explained it to me as if Narcan is administered at the scene, you usually regain consciousness after a few minutes. And a lot of these people that are drug users, they don't want to seek further treatment. So they just go on their way.
So there's no transport. As long as they regain consciousness after the Narcan.
Well, remember, with Prince, they did take him to the hospital. Remember, because there was a whole thing
that was also a long time ago. To Brendan's point, I think what he's saying is that paramedics have become so used to this. It's become so prevalent, sadly.
If you're revived, you're fine.
Right.
Anthony Million, South Carolina. I grew up as an Andy Dick fan. I'm a 90s kid, and I hate to see him in this situation where he's like this. This has been a long spiral, and I hope that the community he surrounds himself with can get him the long-term help that he needs.
Yeah, we should say, by the way, Brendan was able to actually talk to Andy last night. All he would say is that he's okay,
and he's relieved to be okay,
Yeah.
One of the Real Housewives is beginning a new chapter. That would be Jen Shah from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, who had been in a federal prison, but she is now out. Served her time, although she's not completely done yet. She is basically still under the watch of the Bureau of Prisons in essentially a halfway house.
Yeah. I forgot what she was in for.
She was in for fraud.
She was defrauding elderly people. Remember, she was running that scam where they would call elderly people and defraud them out of money.
Right.
Yeah.
She, by the way, in the same prison as Ghislaine Maxwell.
This prison camp in Bryan, Texas.
Yeah, it's unclear if they ever interacted because obviously this is the one that she just got moved to. But
I don't see how you could avoid Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, there are no bars there, and she didn't have a private suite.
And to be honest, when Ghislaine got there, Jen was arguably the biggest. Well, Elizabeth Holmes was also there.
Elizabeth Holmes was there.
So there were some other famous people there.
I'm interested to see what Jen does next, though, because she owes $6.5 million in restitution, and Andy Cohen has publicly said he's never bringing her back on The Housewives.
Really?
So I don't really know.
Older people.
So
yeah,
what does she do?
What did she have?
I don't know.
Was she married?
She was married to a football coach.
And is still married?
Yeah, they're still married.
Still married. So is he on the hook now for that $6.5 million?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I would love to find out any interaction she had with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Or even if she didn't have interaction
just to see what you see.
Right.
With special treatment and all that.
There's been a lot of reports about special treatment Ghislaine is getting back there. And Jen may know where that body is buried.
That would be a prized interview.
I thought it was crazy that she was released early, but I'm glad to hear that she's actually being put in a halfway house and not released at home. But now that Andy said that she's not going to be back on Bravo, I'm curious of how she's going to make this money to pay her $6.5 million that she owes. Leads me to believe she's going to be back to some shady activity pretty quickly.
I mean, that's not the idea.
Yeah, it's hard to pay it off based on other crimes. This is my opinion.
Yeah, I think they will question where the money came from.
Coming up,
a miraculous surgery. Our guest has gone from 5'5" to 6'1", going through this procedure. It is really amazing, and I cannot wait to talk to him about it. Denzel, welcome to TMZ Live.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
I'm intensely interested in this one. How about you?
I'm a little less intensely than you.
Really?
But, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches.
Oh, God, in your
3 or 4 inches less interested. We're talking about a miraculous surgery that you've heard a lot of, seen videos, heard people talking about going to Turkey to get hair implants, hair transplants.
All the rage.
You can also go to Turkey to get taller. That you can add, the way it's been advertised as I've seen is that you could add 3 inches. Well, our guest has found a way to add even more than 3 inches. Has gone from 5'5" to 6'1", going through this procedure, and it was multiple surgeries that he went through in Turkey, and he is now proudly 6'1". So what did he have to go through? It is a long process.
This is amazing.
It is really amazing, and I cannot wait to talk to him about it. So joining us right now is Denzel Sigers. Denzel, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thank you for having me.
So, first of all, you got to tell us what inspired you to do this, because we're going to get into how arduous this is. But this is a tough, long procedure and recovery and all. So why did you do it?
It's just something I've always wanted since I was a kid. You know, all the men in my family were taller, so I decided to do it for myself as well.
And you decided to do it for yourself. You obviously looked into this procedure. Am I correct with the way I had always heard it? Not that I was looking into it, but the way I'd always heard it was that it was 3 inches that they could add. You have found a way to add 7.
No, 8. He was 5'5", and now
you're right.
It's 8.
8 inches. How did you do that?
Basically, the 3 inches comes from the upper legs. Over in Turkey, which is why I did it in Turkey, they do upper and lower, because lower is highly recommended against.
So what exactly is it that they do? Let's get into the actual procedure. How are they adding that much length?
So essentially what they do is they break the bone and they put a rod in between the bone, and you stretch the rod, which stretches the bone out over a period of time, which takes about 3 months per surgery. So the first one I did was 3 months. The second one I did was 3 months.
Are you immobile during those 6 months?
Not necessarily. I was pretty mobile. I was up and down stairs. I was on the move, but I was very athletic before I went.
And then what do they do? So that's how they grow the bone. But the other part of this, I would imagine, is you need the muscle to extend that way. How does that part of it work?
Everything stretches together, which accounts for the loss of mobility and all these different things, because your muscles are stretched past their normal limits. So you just regain muscle.
So you're 6'1" now. Are there any limitations, side effects to any of this that are still kind of dogging you?
No, I haven't had any issues. I'm fully recovered.
Really? So you can do anything athletic, you can play basketball, you can do all of that?
Basketball, football, I play a few different sports.
Wow.
And I know we have this video showing you working out now. Are there any dangers of particular injuries, like, I don't know, an Achilles tearing a tendon that you are more susceptible to?
So realistically, this surgery comes with a lot of different possible side effects. If you're not careful, you could die. You could have basically a situation where your bones don't reconnect. So you just have this empty hole in your leg where it's just a rod, which the rod won't last forever. But it's a few different situations you could run into with this surgery.
Wait a minute, you just said the rod can't last forever. Is this something that has a shelf life to it, or is it going to last the rest of your life?
So the rods come out once the bone heals. Like, you can get the rods taken out. They're not supposed to be in forever. And your bone isn't just supposed to be sitting there, you know, with all this space in between it with just the rod.
So, look, I'm going to ask you a question. So, you're single, right?
I am.
If you're dating somebody and you get serious, do you feel an obligation to tell them that you were born where you grew to be 5'5", if that person is interested in just, you know, how big would our kids be, and it's important to me? Is it something you feel obligated to disclose?
Everybody I date knows.
Huh.
Wait, what do you mean that you think they know?
No, everybody I date knows that.
Oh, you do? All right, you do tell them. Huh. I mean, you know, as you were saying that, I get why someone you were dating might be interested, but you said that other men in your family were much taller, right? So just the fact that you were, I mean, the other thing you could say to them is just because I was 5'5" doesn't mean that our kids would be that height. Obviously, there's height in your family, right?
I have no intention on having kids.
Okay, well, that's fair. That's the good answer.
Shut that whole conversation down immediately.
How much did this cost?
Roughly $81,000 just for the surgery. I couldn't really tell you about everything else. I didn't keep up with the cost.
Final thing, just psychologically, because I'm just thinking that's a big difference. I mean, 8 inches in height is a huge difference. What does it do to you psychologically? Does it give you a confidence? Does it give you kind of just a different way people look at you? What's your takeaway now, having done it and looking at where you were and where you are?
I mean, personally, I'm glad I did it. It's another addition to my life. It's just another thing that I added on. I'll continue to add on whatever I want to my life, whether it be this or that. It doesn't really matter.
Good for you, Denzel. By the way, how from start to finish, how long was the whole procedure?
So this month, actually in 2 weeks since my first surgery, since the first day of surgery, next week will be 3 years total.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Well, you were, like you said, you were committed to it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Really,
Glad
that's
it's working out for
awesome. Really amazing. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up.
So this is going to sound a little strange to say, but there is a growing backlash against Diddy. I say it sounds strange because obviously there were a lot of people ever since the Cassie video, but this backlash has to do with something he did with his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo.
It's disgusting.
Be right back.
So this is going to sound a little strange to say, but there is a growing backlash against Diddy. I say it sounds strange because obviously there were a lot of people ever since the Cassie video where there was a backlash against Diddy. But this backlash has to do with something he did with his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo.
It's disgusting what he did.
We will get to your take on this in just a moment.
Well, we should say the backlash involves the secret recording that Diddy made of conversations he had with his lawyer leading up to the arrest.
If you haven't seen the Netflix documentary, Diddy, The Reckoning, this is the scene that we're talking about.
I'm taking 8 nuclear bombs, you know what I'm saying, straight to the head. And I'm tired of going back and forth with y'all, with the lawyers.
That's just not true.
Okay, so no. Let me tell you something. Let me say this. I'm not a referee. So I'm gonna get off the phone right now. Listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am gonna let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
Yes, so that was Mark Agnifilo on the phone. Mark Agnifilo had no idea that that was being recorded.
Now, there is something called an attorney-client privilege, but that privilege, it's not Mark's privilege, it's Diddy's privilege. Nonetheless, there is an expectation of privacy that Mark Agnifilo has when he gets on the phone with his client and they're talking without, any knowledge that Diddy is making a spectacle for the camera.
So your anger about this is part of what's fueling this backlash. There's a video, I'm going to play a little bit of this for you, that you posted on our YouTube channel, and there are a lot of people connecting to what you said here.
Diddy really screwed over Mark Agnifilo. I gotta say, this is awful that Diddy owes his life to Mark Agnifilo, literally his life, because he could have gotten life in prison were it not for Mark Agnifilo. Diddy screwed him over when he hired this videographer to chronicle his life without telling Mark Agnifilo that when Diddy and Mark were on the phone, this videographer was recording what Mark clearly expected to be an attorney-client privileged relationship. So the point here is that you have somebody who, and look, you may disagree with the verdict. What I don't think can disagree with is Mark Agnifilo did a brilliant job defending him, the way Johnny Cochran did a brilliant job defending O.J. Simpson. It was out of the box. It was great legal strategy where he turned this baby oil into Diddy's best defense. I mean, he created
and by the way,
brilliant strategy.
And he took a lot of heat for that.
A lot of heat
for that, and people were saying that you're making a joke, a mockery over the things that Diddy has done to these victims.
And he was making a joke out of it, but he did it intentionally to make it look like this is a case about baby oil. And it actually worked with the jurors. And then for Diddy to screw him over this way is an outrage.
I'm not sure it was, to your point, the privilege is held by Diddy, so I'm not sure it's a betrayal. He could waive it if he wants, but this is a person who clearly runs roughshod over the concept of consent, right? This is what Diddy has been accused of, and people are relating this instance to what happened with the women that he was found not guilty of those offenses, and everyone said it might have been consensual, but he clearly didn't get Mark Agnifalo's consent to record him for this. And that is the part, I'm not sure betrayal is how I see it, but it is, because I think Mark ultimately would have agreed to it. I think Mark would have said,
he would absolutely,
well, it would be inadvisable.
I can tell you, positively, unquestionably, undoubtedly, he would not have agreed to that.
Would he just advised him not to record it?
He would say,
or
I am not going to have a
participate?
conversation with you if you record this.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's definitely
not.
Ill-advised.
I'm Brian Mumford from Lime, Ohio. Like I agree with Harvey said, basically this is definitely a betrayal, but coming from Diddy is not surprised. Up until this point, he showed that he believes he's above everyone. So it's not surprising that he would betray a lawyer. He's betrayed everyone in his family, his friends, business associates. So it's just par for the course.
This is an interesting point that he's made. I mean, it's not like
argue.
We've seen how he's treated other people he was actually close to.
Yeah.
So
hard to argue that.
Well, if you're getting ready for holiday travel, maybe you have some family coming to visit from another country.
Scrub your social media.
They better scrub their social media just in case, because the Trump administration has now announced that they will be checking the social media of any foreign visitors coming into the country.
They're checking for what, pray tell?
Well, as the president has said, he wants to make sure that you don't hate our country.
So what if they say we don't like Donald Trump?
That might, I feel like
disqualifying? I think it will be.
I don't know if it'll be disqualifying, but
I think it will be.
It'll certainly set off alarms. I would think that they're going to look even deeper into your online profiles.
I believe that it will be disqualifying.
Just to say that you don't like Donald Trump, to say that you if that's true, and we're not going to really have any way, well...
Yes, we will.
Yeah, because as soon as it happens to someone...
They'll say it's anti-American. They will say it's anti-American.
It's very true. Now, the thing is, because of Trump has been going, off with all of these new rules and regulations that have really, I guess, favored him in a certain way, and people are starting to get fed up, is this the final straw, or has the final straw already been reached?
I don't know. I disagree with this thing that people are fed up. Yes, there are people who are fed up, but there's plenty of video people who are completely supporting this. In fact, last night, he had this rally in Pennsylvania, and he whipped the crowd into a frenzy the way he did back in his heyday.
He can always get a crowd, and I think he has a lot of support. I agree with you. I don't think the support's as big as it was a year ago. I do not think it's as big as it was a year ago. I think, for example, he got the Latino vote in a big way in 2024. It's not there that way now. It's not.
Yeah.
And I think that with the economy, look, in a way, he has done a lot to solve the open border problem, which Biden allowed to happen. And I don't think that's even a debate that he did that.
Right.
But now that it's not as much a problem, the economy looms even bigger. And the economy is what people really care about. And they're not satisfied with what he's doing.
If he really wants to win some votes, what he could do is something about our wardrobe. Because the fact that, and I don't know if anyone's noticed, not only are we both wearing black shirts, but almost everyone, Anakin, you're the exception.
I went a little crazy
He's been wearing black shirts today.
Yeah, black is the new
There
black.
was no memo, guys. There was no memo.
No, black is the new black.
Coming up.
Boy, Quentin Tarantino has painted a target on his back because of some comments he made about actors in Hollywood.
Shut up, Quentin Tarantino, you little bitch.
Be right back.
Boy, Quentin Tarantino has painted a target on his back because of some comments he made about actors in Hollywood. We really don't see this happen, where someone just calls people out by name and says
tortures
horrible
them.
things about it. This is what he said. Now, we're going to tell you how some other actors are now fighting back, but this is what he said about a few actors, and one in particular, in Hollywood.
There Will Be Blood would stand a better chance to be in number 1 or number 2 if it didn't have a big giant flaw in it. And the flaw is Paul Dano. He's just such a weak, uninteresting guy.
Wow.
Paul Dano just sitting at home like, what? Where did that come from?
Why would he do that? And by the way, he also torched Owen Wilson. And they weren't alone.
I don't, this is, I don't know where this came from, why he did it, but some people are speaking up on behalf of Paul Dano and others.
They're furious at Quentin Tarantino for this.
Zach Wood, you may remember him from The Office. He is standing up for Paul Dano in particular. This is what he had to say.
Quentin Tarantino's been talking about Paul Dano, and us very weird-looking white boys have to stand up for each other. So shut up, Quentin Tarantino, you little bitch. You suck.
Well, okay, so he says that, and then he issues what he says is going to be an apology.
I was like, why would you take it back? Why would you take it back?
But it ain't an apology.
He didn't.
Last week I said some very harsh words about Quentin Tarantino, and after talking to my agent, I realized I owe you an apology, Mr. Tarantino. I'm literally just a nobody, and you're one of the masters of ripping off Asian directors, you bitch! You rip off everyone, from Hong Kong or tours to Bill Maher's barber, and you look weird as and that's coming from a guy who looks like a bird had sex with another, more tired bird. I knew that you were a dingus, but I didn't know that you were a legitimate statutory rape apologist. Listen to this clip.
He didn't rape a 13-year-old. It was statutory rape. Yeah, all right. Well, that's not quite the same thing. All right? Come on. Enough said.
Quentin, you are the Megyn Kelly of guys who look like a turtle.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, you know
this
what?
Is not over.
He deserved that, and most people are on Zach's side. Most people.
And Paul Dano's side.
And Paul Dano's side.
Yeah.
And Owen Wilson's side. I mean, it's just so gratuitously mean to do
because
that.
Obviously Quentin Tarantino can have his opinion about these actors, but where is it moving anything forward to share that?
You know, and
I mean, talk about There Will Be Blood. I mean, he brought Polanski into the argument because Tarantino in the past has defended Polanski for the underage.
Right.
And it's like...
I got to say, and I'm sorry for saying this, but shame on the whole Academy, too. Because remember during the Oscars when he got the award, everybody stood up and applauded.
Exactly. But like, look, he's a brilliant filmmaker. But I think people are just over the Artur, and I'm so much better than you.
They would have been fine with it if he didn't start.
But you know,
ripping people publicly.
You know what's happened.
He's opened the door now for people to say what they've felt about him.
But didn't he say that he's talking about doing another movie, but he's not sure? Now nobody wants another movie.
Well, exactly, because he just pissed off the entire town.
He could have had everybody wanting a movie, and now it's like
plenty of actors would line up to star in another Quentin Tarantino
He's
movie.
pissed off Hollywood.
But they better do a good job, because you don't.
He'll nail you.
Hey, it's Malaysia from Southern California. And I just feel like Quentin, he's allowed to voice his opinions, but he shouldn't be voicing nothing with all them skeletons in his closet. And I think Zach, I'm on Zach's side, actually. And I like the fake apology. It turned into like a little comedy show.
No, it was good.
He had me
Zach
going.
was great.
Especially the way he sold it. He's like, I talked to my agent, because that's how it would happen in Hollywood.
Right.
The agent would go, what are you doing?
What are you doing? That was funny.
Yeah.
Coming up.
A rider in a Waymo in San Francisco had a bit of an emergency that clearly Waymo couldn't help her with. She needed to give birth, and she ended up having the baby in the backseat of a Waymo.
Be right back.
I can't figure out if this cuts in favor of Waymo or against, but a rider in a Waymo in San Francisco had a bit of an emergency that clearly Waymo couldn't help her with. She needed to give birth, and she ended up having the baby in the backseat of a Waymo.
Do you have to pay for cleaning charges on that?
That is an excellent question.
Thank you.
So
I mean, what do? Do you push for support?
The driver, I mean,
well, no, but
I would
no.
say if there's
But
a
the thing
if you have a
is
driver-
this. No. Here's the thing. You push support and you say, have
I'm
this
giving
Waymo
birth.
go to the hospital.
No, the Waymo was going to the hospital. She was taking it to the hospital.
Oh, she was going to the hospital.
But what happened was they noticed, whoever, like the remote, there's people that are like paying attention somewhere in an office. They realized something weird was happening and they called her and they were like, are you all
It's
right?
not weird. It's called the miracle of birth.
Sure. So it's gross. But they said, are you all right? And she said, I know I'm giving birth. So they called 911, but the Waymo got her she gave birth. The Waymo got her to the hospital before any first responders got there. The only thing that I don't understand
So wait,
is
she had the baby and then the
and
the
it
ride
got to the
continued.
hospital and they took care of it.
Did the Waymo stop while she was having the
This
baby?
is what's confusing because if you take your seatbelt off, Waymo acts like you committed a felony. Like it pulls over,
it does.
it
Right.
screams.
Yeah.
So she must have kept her seatbelt on.
Giving birth?
I don't know.
God, she should get an award for that.
Picturing this, I don't.
Is the baby okay?
The baby's fine.
She should.
okay?
Yeah.
She should name the baby Waylon Moffat. Waymo.
No, I got it. It just wasn't funny.
Hi, I'm Ryan from Irvine, California, and I gotta say that whoever was in charge of watching these cameras on this Waymo got way more than they expected.
Yeah.
If I was in that car watching those cameras, I would not know what to do.
Okay, this is going to sound like a total left turn, and I
It's
hope
definitely a left turn.
I hope you're not offended.
Here we go.
But dude,
buckle up.
You have Luigi Mangione eyebrows.
Is that a good thing? Like
I don't know. I mean,
In
people
this
think he's
world.
handsome, but he's also an alleged killer. So I don't know how you feel about it.
Hey, a lot of the ladies like Luigi, so take that as a compliment.
You take the good with the bad.
That is not the craziest comparison you've ever made.
Okay, what else do you guys want to talk about?
Gage from Minnesota, and I just want to talk about the David situation. I honestly think that the whole situation is kind of messy, and now that his GM/manager, got dragged into it now, and I think it's just deeper than what it really is, and I just feel like he's just trying to, keep David's name cleared from the whole situation.
We don't know because
I don't know what he was, but
you would think from why didn't you call the police that maybe you're right.
the part about I just wanted to continue the tour says to me I didn't want to call the police, and I don't know what information.
I didn't want to derail the tour.
Yeah.
One more.
CJ, I'm from Atlanta, and I'm going to talk about Diddy. I thought it was very shysty of him to covertly record his lawyer. I think that he was getting this footage so he could make some sort of documentary because I think he thought he was going to win. He just shot himself in the foot.
Well,
I think you're right. That's why he was recording it.
He did win. He did win. And yeah, I like the idea. What did you call it again?
Shiesty?
Shiesty. It was shiesty. I think you're right.
Who shiesty?
Coming up.
Time for a surprise. The surprise is for us.
We have no idea what we're doing.
We have no idea. I know the producers think that this is.
What
just
are
spring
we
it on us.
doing?
Okay,
It's some sort of
you
trend.
guys are participating in a new viral trend.
Be right back.
All right, time for a surprise. The surprise is for us.
We have no idea what we're doing.
We have no idea. I know the producers think that this is.
What
just to
are
spring
we
it on us.
doing?
Okay,
It's some sort of
you
trend.
guys are participating in a new viral trend. It's the, Harvey, you probably won't participate, but Charles, you will. It is the
What does that
viral wine float. So people are taking their favorite wine and pouring it over ice cream, and they are enjoying this ice cream float. Small bite. Oh.
All right.
Ooh, oh.
I gotta get the wine in
You
there.
didn't like
Hang on.
it?
I just don't like wine.
Okay, well, besides
I like
that.
two wine.
Oh.
No,
What do you think? What do you think? Okay, no?
Nope.
I don't like it.
Nope.
These trends.
Meanwhile,
these trends.
Oh, Tawana
suck.
just wanted to come on
and drink
wine.
No, these trends are stupid. I mean, everybody wants to come up with something really dumb that everybody will do, and somebody's going to end up with a DUI.
Oh.
Do we have any rum?
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow.